Good morning, happy Tuesday. Today we are working on Module 6, Lesson 1. So we have officially finished with Module 5. You all took a quiz on it last week, and we are moving into Module 6. We're moving into number lines, coordinate planes, and working with that. So today we're starting with number lines. So it should feel like a review. We've talked about it before. Make sure that you're watching this video. Make sure that you watch the entire YouTube video and do everything that's asked within it. When it says pause for you to work, make sure you're doing that. If I tell you to draw something, draw it. You get extra points for that. And if I give you a secret word to come in and tell me, make sure you are doing that as well. You should have a piece of paper out and a pencil out as well, and have the Google Classroom pulled up. Your options are to be typing directly into Google Classroom, or to be doing it on paper and then hitting insert, image, and camera and putting your work directly there so that we are able to see it and to check it. Make sure you come to office hours to ask any questions that you have, and so that we can check your work and give you a grade for it. Okay, when you come to office hours, I want you to type the word sunshine to me. Type the word sunshine when you come into office hours, and let's get started with our lesson. Happy Monday. We are looking at 6.1, Module 6, Lesson 1, Cool Coordinates. We have now officially finished Module 5. We are on the last unit of the year, which is Module 6. So we're going to be getting into some new topics, but a lot of this looks familiar. A lot of this are things that we have gone over before in class. So when you're thinking about everything that we're doing today and we're thinking about this new module, keep in mind that some of this, you're going to have that prior knowledge, which is awesome. We're starting with the fluency. Remember that when we see the zeros in our numbers, in our digits, that helps us with our division. If I have 20 divided by 10, well, that's like saying I can take 1/10 out of 20. If I divide 20 by 10, it becomes 2. And if I divide the 10 by 10, it becomes 1. 2 divided by 1, it's the same as saying 2 over 1 like this. So our answer for 1 is 2. You can do this on your paper, or you can just type in next to that number on the right-hand side and put your answers. Go ahead and pause now. Take 5 minutes to work through this front and second page. They're on 2 pages so that you have room to type. But it's the same amount of work that we've been doing. Pause this and work on this for 5 minutes. Pausing now. All right, you are now looking at the application problem. A landscaper is planting some marigolds in a row. A marigold is a flower. Since you're on your laptop, you can go ahead and pull up what it looks like. They're really pretty. So a landscaper is planting marigolds in a row. The row is 2 yards long. The flowers must be spaced 1/3 yard apart so they have proper room to grow. The landscaper plants the first flower at 0. Place points on the number line to show where the landscaper should place the other flowers. How many marigolds will fit in this row? So I know the row is 2 yards long. So how many will fit in that 2 yards? Now, if you're able to write on your screen to edit this, you can edit it. Otherwise, draw this number line on your piece of paper, if that helps, making sure to have the correct amount of tick marks. Okay, so the whole thing is 2 yards. They have to be spaced 1/3 apart. And it says the first flower is at 0. Well, if the first flower is at 0, I'm going to mark that here. Now, you're going to mark it just like a dot. My pen just doesn't work well when I do it. Okay, so that's the first one. Then they're going to be 1/3 apart. So what are you going to do? Think it through. Maybe in your head you're thinking, oh, let me just count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But think about it. It says 1/3 yard. It's 1/3 of a yard. And this whole thing right here is 1 yard. That's 1 yard. And then here is our second yard. If it's a 1/3 in the yard, that means we need to split that one section, that blue area, 1 yard, into 3. Now, whenever we're working on a number line, we need to have even intervals. So how are you going to split this into thirds? Take a second and think. Now, you may have realized, oh, well, let's count them. Let's count the tick marks. So let's see if my pen lets me do this. So if I'm counting the tick marks, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, there's 18 tick marks, and I need to split that into thirds. I need to have 3 of them there. Oh, well, so that means I'm going to divide it by 3. 18 divided by 3 we already know is 6. Okay, so that means 6. So every 6, I'm going to make a mark. So we have one that starts at 0. It told us that. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but it wants to know where they should place them in the whole row, so in all 2 yards. So let's keep going. If that first section had 18, we know that it's even intervals, so the second section will have 18. So again, we're counting by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, my bad, and 6. How many marigolds will fit in this row? So based on what we've just done, how many marigolds, how many flowers are going to fit on this row? Looking for that answer when you come into office hours. Moving into our concept development. What do you know about number lines? Think in your head. Maybe you know, oh, well, they have numbers on it. The integers get split apart. You should be thinking, oh, you know what? They always have 0. It starts at 0. For a number line, it can go any direction. You can have a number line that goes up and down. You can have a number line that's horizontal as opposed to vertical. It could go diagonal. It does not matter. And it's going to start at 0. All right, so I'm going to clear the screen here so that we can focus on concept development. Create a number line by choosing a unit length, an origin, and a direction of increase. What does all of that mean? Okay, a unit of length. How long is it going to be? So draw a number line. You could draw it horizontally like I did, or vertically. And an origin. Our origin, what origin means is 0. Origin is where it starts, the origin of something, and we always start at 0. And then the direction of increase. So if my 0 is here, I'm going to say 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here. Now you could say, my origin is here, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is also correct. The direction of increase is just going the other direction. It does not need to go left to right as long as it's building in equal intervals. So the same number, you can't go 1, 2, 700, but you can go 1, 2, 3, and it's starting at 0. Okay, so now we've drawn our number line. I'm going to actually draw it a little bit neater here so that you all can see what I'm doing. So if we're drawing this, I'm going to stick with what I said. So I had said 0 here, I had said 3 here, so 1 would be there and 2 there. Okay, partition the unit length into fractional units. Now here we had a sheet of paper. If you look at this picture right here, they took a little scrap of paper and put these 2 lines. The reason for that is you can now take that paper, line it up against your number line, and it's going to give you perfectly spaced out intervals. You could do the same thing with a ruler. It will give you spaced out intervals so that you're not having to guess because they need to be exact. So it will look like these pictures if you do a sheet of paper in order to do that. So I'm not able to do a sheet of paper to show you the sheet of paper through the iPad, but if I'm trying to split it into thirds, that means, okay, right, this would be 0 thirds, here would be 1 third, 2 thirds, and 1 is the same as 3 thirds. They all have to be split the same. I cannot split this into thirds. Oop, it's not typing. I turned my pen off. I can't split this into thirds and then go and split this part into fourths. It all has to be the same interval, the same amount. Now, if I were to keep counting, this would be 4 thirds, 5 thirds, and we know that 2 is the same as 6 thirds. 7 thirds, 8 thirds. Okay, we don't need to label them all. What's nice is because we know that it's equal intervals, by just drawing those dashes, we can figure out any of the ones we need to. Moving on to the next page. We are looking at line number 1. That's this one right here. We want to identify the coordinate. So we just learned what origin was. Origin is 0. It's where it starts. Here's my origin. Here's my origin. Here's my origin. Now, if I want to know the coordinate is the distance from 0. So for right now, we're looking at the shapes, the coordinate of the shape. So it's how far away is the shape from 0? Well, let's look at line number 1. How would you describe to me the location of, let's say, the square that's on line 1 on this number line without pointing? You could say, well, I see that it's 4 away from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my coordinate for the square in line 1 is 4. What is the coordinate for the star? Write that on your sheet of paper. Looks like it's between 2 and 3. There you go. What I'm going to look at in office hours is I want you to tell me what is the coordinate for number line 2 of A. What's the coordinate there? I want you to tell me for number line 3, what is the coordinate for B? What is that coordinate? How far away is it from 0? That's what you're going to come into office hours and share. Once you have finished that, you are ready to move into the problem set. When you get to the problem set, you are saying what the coordinate is for each shape at the point on the number line. You can type it in below, or you can write it in if it is on your piece of paper. Moving right along, you're going to need your paper for this one. So for A, it says plot A, so the distance from the origin is 2. Well, it shows you where 0 is, and it shows you where 3 is. So with that information, you should be able to find out where 2 is. Go ahead and mark it. Now, it's really important when you mark it, okay, this is 2, this must be 2. And it says plot A, you need to label it. If you can, wow, what did I do? Okay, you need to label that that's A. We're going to put lots of points on a number line, and we need to be able to keep it really neat. So make sure it's labeled A, and we were able to tell that that was 2. You're working through this number line, this page of the number lines, and you are going to show us at office hours where you have done it. So you're going to put this on your sheet of paper. You can easily upload the picture by going to Insert, Image, and Camera. You're going through this next page as well, finishing the problem set. Some of this you're writing in the answers, but a lot of it needs to be done on the number line. So again, upload the image into this page, and then continue through for 4 and 5. If you have a question with number 4, it's really important that you watch the whole video, because I actually answered number 4 earlier at the beginning when I was going over the notes. Move into your exit ticket, again, writing it on paper, uploading an image so I can see the number line, and I will see you in office hours. Great job.